Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today, a time of eclectic reading, sharing of perspectives, meditation, and prayer. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the newly joined Centers for Spiritual Living Communities of Columbia and Greater Baltimore. Today is November 25th. And this morning I am reading from The Spiritual Law of Cause and Effect. The Inner Mechanics of Mind, Law, and Divine Intelligence. And this is written by Reverend Willow Frost. And this morning I'm reading from page 100, two short paragraphs, one titled Emotional Alignment and the other one titled Removal of Contradictions. So here's what it offers us. The law responds not just to ideas, but to the energy behind them. Feeling is the fuel of manifestation. When our emotional state aligns with our vision, we radiate a coherent signal that the law mirrors into form. Removal of contradiction. We must examine and release all conflicting beliefs. Those subconscious narratives that say, I'm not ready, I don't deserve this, or it's not possible. These patterns dilute our intention. Spiritual practice dissolves these inner resistances. I think those two things for me are so pivotal. Because what I've experienced is that the emotional alignment is directly correlated to the contradictions. That even though my brain is setting an intention, when there's an emotional narrative, when there's any narrative that conflicts or contradicts the intention, it creates even more emotion. There's an acronym that I teach, TFUA, to help us remember how our physiological processes work. Our thoughts create our feelings create our urges lead to our actions. TFUA. Thoughts, feelings, urges, actions. And so those contradictions are often creating the emotion that is back of our intentions, back of our treatments, back of our mental equivalents. And so often it's like that iceberg diagram that we often reference, where most of the thought is below the surface, that we don't even see it. We're not even aware that it's operating. And so we can begin to become aware by noticing the emotion. And if the emotion that we're feeling is out of alignment with the intention that we're setting, it's the activity of law, consciousness, reflecting back to us what we're actually believing. And so then we get to explore what hidden belief is creating this feeling, because the feeling doesn't align with my intention. And so when we're willing to do the spiritual work, when we're willing to be in that uncomfortable wrestling match, if you will, with our own thoughts and our own beliefs, even if those beliefs are generational beliefs, right? There's a lot of beliefs that we carry in the subconscious that we don't remember ever learning. They've just kind of always been there. Those beliefs that, well, this is just how it is. And what we get to do is examine those and correct those, because just because it's always been there doesn't mean we have to keep it. Doesn't mean it has to stay there. And so we get to explore those things. Hello, at Kitty22040. Good morning. And so I encourage you to a new level of bravery, a new level of courage to become willing to explore that inner dialogue, even if it's an ugly dialogue, because it's our willingness to explore it that empowers us to change it. So that's what comes alive in me reading these two paragraphs. So I'm going to read them again and take us into our time of meditation and contemplation. The period of meditation is simply 5 minutes. There's a little music in the background, and it's just a time to practice being present with ourselves, with our thoughts, with whatever comes up, to practice not pushing anything away and not trying to make anything show up, to just practice being present. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you, love. All right, so here are the two paragraphs again. Emotional alignment. The law responds not just to ideas, but to the energy behind them. Feeling is the fuel of manifestation. When our emotional state aligns with our vision, we radiate a coherent signal that the law mirrors into form. We must examine and release conflicting beliefs. Those subconscious narratives that say, I'm not ready, I don't deserve this, or it's not possible. These patterns dilute our intention. Spiritual practice helps dissolve these inner resistances. So let's take that into our time of meditation and contemplation. So I remember, I recognize, I recognize, I know again that there is one life, one source, one substance that is creation, that is expressing as creation, one absolute reality expressing in a multiplicity of forms, seen and unseen, visible and invisible, known by many, many names. God, Christ, the great mystery, the universe, nature, love, whatever name resonates, we know it as that, and so much more. It is the unnameable because it is every name and no name. It is everything and no thing. And I know that this one substance creates out of itself to express itself, to experience itself, to expand itself. And creating out of itself, every expression of it must contain it, must be it in form. And so I know that I am a portal. I am an emanation, an animation, a representation of life itself, fully infused with the creative process and the grace, the freedom to create, not as a human, but as the infinite itself within me. And I know that in the wholeness of one, what is true of me must be true of every expression of creation, of consciousness. That thought, emotion, action, all of it is a movement of consciousness, expanding the experience and expression of it. And so I claim and affirm that every expression of the infinite is moving into greater alignment with the whole, greater alignment of the harmonious operation of one. That all of the contradictory thoughts of separation are healed by the awareness of wholeness, are healed by the truth that in one there can be no other, is healed by the awareness, by the experience that everywhere I look, there I am. Everywhere I look, there God is, and God is all there is. Life is all there is. Wisdom, all there is. And so I claim and affirm that we are each moving into a new experience of courage, of bravery, of willingness to dive deep into that subconscious below the surface, to identify and correct every thought of separation, knowing that no separation serves the wholeness of one. That as we heal the divide of separation, there is no fear, only confidence. That we lean into the fullness of the power that we are in form to heal, Remembering that what heals in one place heals every place, because there is only one place. There is only one time now. And that the construct of human awareness is simply that. And as we remember that, we are no longer limited by it, but simply use it as a tool to navigate this human expression of life. That we simultaneously allow our experience of humanity to be glorious and full, unencumbered, knowing that it is spirit expressing. Knowing that there is no guilt, shame, or blame in the infinite, as we let that go and lean into the authority and the healing power of grace. And I am grateful. I am grateful for the activity of law, that doer within the creative process that never judges, never resists, simply responds in that perfect mirror, reflecting back to each and every one of us what is held in consciousness, what is moved, what is believed, empowering each and every one of us to fully, actively, intentionally, from a place of awareness, participate in surfacing that divine spark that is consciousness itself, the essence of all being. And knowing that law simply receives that and acts upon it immediately, no hesitation. I release any attachment to this physical realm of seeing it in form in order to believe that it's true. I release all limiting, contradictory thought and stand in the agency and authority of love itself, this day, this moment, and this moment, and this moment, practicing the presence and so in this activity of letting go, I simply move into this day, my eyes and ears, heart, mind, wide open to experience God, love, life everywhere, in every way. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.